You can send in your questions to askpvquestions@gmail.com. I have an interesting one here. It says, did you watch Ted Nugent on Joe Rogan? If so, are you going to talk about the stupid shit Nugent says? So, Joe Rogan, I remember when Joe Rogan was talking about having Ted Nugent on, and I think it was, I can't remember if it was Dave Rubin or if it was someone else, but he was like, I don't agree with everything that Ted Nugent says, but I'm going to decide to have Ted Nugent on my podcast because he wants to come on. Apparently, Elon Musk is also going to be on there, which is going to be interesting. But Ted Nugent, I saw a little bit of it and I saw some of it. But the thing about Ted Nugent is he's really a disgusting and vile human being. I will definitely say that. Because he called the Parkland shooting survivors soulless. I think he might have called them demons or something. I definitely know he called them soulless. Which is a completely shitty thing to do because, they were survivors of this, horrific shooting where they saw their own friends literally shot to death, with their own very eyes, and you're gonna call them soulless. And I've said this many of times. It's okay to criticize them on their policy position. So if you disagree with their gun control, fine. Voice your opinion of disagreeing with them on gun control, but don't do character assassinations of them, especially when you decry that on the other side. But the point being is that he's really just a fucking douchebag who I had no expectations for. But just listening to what I listened to, he seems to be just a complete douchebag, and just like a dick all around, just like a douche. But also, he also seemed to be, this sort of guy who's really, really stupid, is what I got from that, right? He sounded really, really fucking stupid when he talked. But apparently there were some fans in Joe Rogan's channel of his. I don't know why. But he's definitely a big fan of his guns. He loves his weapons all the time. But I think he also had a disagreement about weed with Joe Rogan. But I also wanted to point out that despite Ted Nugent, he's somebody who will be all about patriotism, right? And all about fighting for the country and all of that stuff. But really, once it comes down to it, actually fighting for the country and actually, instead of just talking the talk, walking the walk, he doesn't do shit. Because it's a true story of when Ted Nugent, when the Vietnam War draft happened and he got drafted, the man literally shit himself and actually just kept it. I guess he just fucking shit himself to prevent him from going to war. So, and I am actually somebody who was against the Vietnam War, of course, and I'm against the draft and everything. But when you're all about all of this patriotism shit and fighting for the country and all this shit, but you don't do it yourself when you have that perfect opportunity, it just means that you're a fake and a fraud. And that's what Ted Nugent is. He's a fake and a fraud. He's just clearly an idiot, and he's a dick. He's a douchebag. He does not deserve respect. And I think that his showing on the podcast was very low. It was shitty, and it was just really bad. I mean, I guess if you want good laughs, you can check it out, but that'd be the only reason why I would say you should see it.